All right, well, let's jump right into our yoga. Today we're going to be focusing on releasing mostly through the head, the neck, and the jaw. So this is great for teeth grinders, people with TMJ, if you clench when you're stressed, all of that can be a really nice way to let go. But we're going to start with the jaw. So for this one, have a block. If you have a folded blanket, that can also be really nice just because it's a little bit softer. And go ahead and meet me laying on your side. So I'm gonna start on my left side. You can start on whatever side makes more sense for you, but go ahead and orient the block on the lowest setting. Have the ball in your hand and lay the side of your head on your block. Now make sure you have enough block behind you that you can actually roll the head back and have the side of your face totally exposed. From there, taking the ball, we're just gonna set it right in front of the cheek and then lower the cheek onto the ball, kind of like the ball's like a kickstand. So what we don't want here is to have the whole weight of the head on the ball. You want to keep the majority of the weight of the head on the block with the ball just kind of kickstanded right in front of the cheek. Now do whatever feels comfortable with the legs, bend, straighten, stagger. And before you add in anything, just take a couple of deep breaths here, letting the ball find that gentle compression right there into the jaw and the cheek. If you don't have any sensation, just move the ball, just even a little micro movement until you find just a little bit of a sensitive spot. If it feels really good to stay still in compression, that's always really nice. If you need a little bit more, a very slow and gentle just opening and closing of the mouth just really starts to massage that whole jaw region. So maybe play around with both, stay still, gently open and close the mouth. Find what works best for you. I think one of the most important things, though, when it comes to pain management is the ability to relax through the breath. So, especially if you're staying still, take those nice deep breaths. When we can truly let go and just start to pay attention to our breath, it allows us to mentally be in the present moment, which is a great way to kind of counteract that pain that tends to kind of envelop our entire mind and all of our thoughts. And take another deep breath here. And then we're going to stay laying on the left side of the face, but go ahead and lean back so you can take the weight of the head off the ball. Take the ball into your right hand. Now, I think it's really helpful to kind of stack the elbow up towards the sky rather than letting it fall towards the floor. It just gives you a little bit more skeletal structure. And then loosely place the ball through the webbing of the thumb and the index finger. So you have a little bit of the weight of the arm pushing into the ball on the right side of the cheek. And then for here, you're just going to move the ball around the cheek and the jaw in a circular motion. So just kind of covering the majority of the side of the face. If it helps, and if you feel safe to do so, maybe closing the eyes and coming back to that deep breath. Letting go of that tension, of that stress. And this is a shorter practice of the yin for advanced stress for jaw, head, and neck. So if you want more, you've got that there, a 45-minute practice. But this is nice just to kind of drop in when we're short on time. And then release, go ahead and set the ball off in front of you. Lift your head enough that you can just turn the block on its mid setting, and you're going to place the ridge of the block right at the side of the head on the bone above the ear. So if the top of the ear flap is actually being compressed, you can either fold the ear and get it off of the block so it's not, the cartilage isn't being smushed. But you'll probably feel this ridge of tissue and bone right there on the side of the head above the ear. And we're just going to gently rock the head back and forth along that ridge. And again, once you kind of get familiar with the movement, come back to that breath. And slowly bring your movement smaller and smaller until you come into stillness. And take 3 deep breaths here. Just laying still with this gentle compression. And then we're going to switch sides. Feel free just to flip over and stay where you are. I'm going to physically move my stuff so I don't have my back to you. Orient your block back onto its shortest setting, coming onto the right side of the head. Again, just make sure there's enough block behind you. You can roll your head back. Taking the ball now in the left hand, you're going to place it right in front of the cheek. So as you lower the head back down, it just acts as a kickstand right there in the cheek and jaw connection. And again, before you add in any movement, take a moment just to come into the compression, to take a few deep breaths. And then if you like, you can always do that very gentle and slow, just opening and closing of the mouth, which just massages that whole region. We'll say if you're battling pain in the jaw, the stillness can be more therapeutic because it allows you just to fall into it. But if you're using this more preventative or post-acute pain, it can be really nice to add in that movement too, to get a little bit more mobility and movement into the jaw region. And if you're just here to release stress, then whatever feels best for you. And if you were moving, gently come back into stillness. Lean your head back just enough. You can grab the ball with the left hand. Placing the ball now on the left cheek with your elbow pointing up towards the sky, so you've got that bone structure holding you rather than having to muscle hold it if the elbow was like parallel with the floor. Kind of just nestle the fingers towards the temple of the head, so the ball's just right there in the webbing of the thumb and the index finger. And then use your thumb to move that ball in a circular motion. And come back to those nice deep breaths. And you can have the mouth closed or open, whatever feels best for you. I find just a slight pursing of the lips can feel really nice. And then slowly release. You can set your ball off to the side. Lift your head just enough that you can flip the block on that mid setting, placing that ridge of the block right there on that bone and the soft tissue around it above the ear. And again, if the cartilage of the ear is being compressed, it might be nice to fold that under so we don't lay onto that. And again, just gently nod the head forward and back, right along that ridge. Taking those nice deep breaths there. And then allow your movement to become smaller and smaller until you come back into stillness. And take 3 deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, use your top arm to gently press you up into a seated posture. Take a moment to sense into how the whole sides of the face are feeling. Hopefully a little less stressed, a little bit more mobile. Maybe if you're battling pain, a little bit more pain-free. But I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me, and until next time, be well.